This is everything I came home with from Ulta Beauty World, you guys. It's actually a little bit overwhelming.
Hey y'all, welcome in and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to a new video. Welcome to the freaking chaos. I'm in a spicy mood to talk about this video. Today we're talking about the Ulta Beauty World event that happened. If you did not hear about this, you are in for some insanity. The levels of overconsumption that happened in this video is it's I haven't seen anything like this in a long time. And to just like communicate this, I have my working titles for this video here. Let me just read some options for you. The Ulta Beauty World event is actually insane. Was the Ulta Beauty World event the overconsumption final boss? Ulta Beauty World overconsumption final boss? This is what peak overconsumption looks like. Is the overconsumption in the room with us? Okay. Glorifying overconsumption like you've never seen. The overconsumption at Ulta Beauty World was wild. I only need like one TikTok to prove my case to you, but we're going to show many. All right, let's get into it. By the way, if you like what you see here, subscribe. There's more chaos coming your way. There's more videos coming your way. Not everything is this chaotic. Some things I'm actually much more polished and considered, but this overconsumption has got me fired up, baby. So subscribe. Right now we're doing everyday May, 5 videos a week, Wednesday through Sunday. Let's get into it. The Ulta Beauty World event. It happened in San Antonio, Texas at the end of April, and tickets cost $160, and it was basically like a fair with brands and interactive booths. Ulta describes this as an immersive beauty experience like no other. It's a one-day event created to bring our community together for a day filled with excitement, connection, and unforgettable beauty moments. Connect with brands you love, explore exclusive experiences, and discover what makes beauty feel truly special. Do you mean consumption, Ulta? I think that might be what you mean. So there was close to 200 branded booths. So like Elf would go and they'd have a booth, and then they'd give out free product. Some brands, depending on what they were having services. There were also some interactive things. I think Benefit did the eyebrow, like they had an eyebrow. Benefit had a little eyebrow booth, like hair tinsel treatment. And one of the most noteworthy thing about this event that everybody kind of freaked out about was the base bag, like a tote bag filled with $1,000 worth of merchandise. That is insane. So let's watch some TikToks of the event so you kind of know what I'm talking about. And these are going to be people who are going through the booths or like going through the physical space.
To Ulta Beauty World 2025. So first things first, we were handed our bags at the front of the lobby, and then they had little activities such as decorating your bag with patches or making little charms. They also had a station where you could decorate some little hats, but I wasn't able to do that. The line was too long. Here's me showing off my bag. I was so impressed by how the brands displayed their booths. It was just impeccable, amazing, so much to look at. I wish I would have recorded more, but my hands were getting so full from everything being passed.
So it's going really well so far. I got more than expected. We're not even halfway done through the day, and I cannot handle the amount of bags and items we have gotten. I'm literally walking back to my car so I can go drop off all of the things I have received so far, and then we're gonna come back for round 2 because I haven't even gone through half of the booths and like the setups.
So now I'm looking at the left side of the booth area, and I didn't even notice Michaela walking past me in this clip. This is Benefit. Their section was so cute. They were offering brow services. They were one of many brands doing so. At this point, I was dragging so many items. I wish I could have recorded more on the left side, but unfortunately did not. I did catch this clip of the mariachis playing by Mac, which was really nice. That's all I have left to show.
So the title of this video says Ulta Beauty World equals lots of free products. And in this video, she's walking basically through the setup. And then she talks about all the stuff that she has. She shows the bag that she got at the beginning. We're going to watch one more TikTok of the event from a different creator.
Ulta Beauty World was hands down the best beauty conference I have ever been to. And a lot of y'all think it's only for influencers. Baby, I bought my ticket, paid for my plane and my hotel like a regular baddie. They've been doing this thing for years, but it was only open to Ulta employees until this year, girl. And when I tell you, this was the best $160 I ever spent because they treated us like celebrities. Doors opened at 9 a.m. and you basically got to walk around to all of these immaculate booths for all these brands inside Ulta, almost 200 of them, and they showered you with gifts, presents, and showed you all the new stuff that wasn't even out yet. This beauty conference is really for everybody, whether you do hair, makeup, or you're just a beauty lover. But the reason I went is because I knew all of the freaking brands that I post with and love were gonna be there. So I wanted to meet everybody, and I sure as hell got to. Tons of influencers were there if you're into that. Yes, girl, free massages, and not to mention the fact that I met the owners of a lot of these brands. And I see why there's no budget left over for content because these booths were wild. Kidding, but girl, it was definitely worth it, and next year I'll see you in Orlando.
Michaela did show up for this too. She spoke at the event, which says something, I think. So in his TikTok, you see more of the interactive elements. You do see a lot of the booths, but you also see the drinks that people were getting and the massages. So it wasn't just consumption and like giving out free stuff. There was interactive stuff, and as he mentioned, this was previously for employees and then opened up to the public. By the way, for this video, he says he bought his ticket like a regular person, not just for influencers. That is a big draw of this event. We're going to talk all about that later, but I want to remind you that he may have purchased his own ticket, his own airfare, and his own hotel accommodations. All of those things though are business expenses. So if you as a consumer or a beauty lover go, you are not getting any of the benefits of that. So from these two videos, you're seeing inside of the conference center. So in these two TikToks, you're seeing inside of the event, and I think you can maybe start putting together, there's like a lot of freebies happening, a lot of free products and samples. And you'd be going like, Shauna, come on now, like it's not that bad. Or Shauna, are you just bothered by like all the waste in the booths being set up? Or are you mad at free samples? Or are you annoyed? But like this conceptually, I mean, all of that's like true to a point. It was the insane levels of consumption that happened here, and the glamorizing and glorifying of it all is what gets me. And as I was mentioning, one of the most insane things that happened at this event that got people to see it as like a value for money was the base tote bag. Let's now watch Morgan Turner like unbox this bag, or show all the products in the bag. It is a long clip. I think it's like around 3 minutes. We're gonna watch the whole thing because one of those things that just keeps going and going and going.
Let's go over what's inside the over $1,000 swag bag that you get when you bought a ticket for Ulta Beauty World. Yes, everyone got one of these. First of all, you get a base bag with all of the stuff in it. Love it. Like, are you kidding me? Okay, let's see how fast I can do this. Secret Nourishing Hair Oil. Elf Holy Hydration Makeup Melting Balm. I love this. The Honey Pot Body Cleanser. Way Detox Shampoo. L'Oreal Infallible Setting Mist. Bare Mineral Setting Spray. Grande Brow Laminate Gel. Nioxin Shampoo. OGX Bond Repair Conditioner. Dry Bar Root Spray. Peter Thomas Roth Water Drench. Cloud Cream Moisturizer. Kylie Jenner Cosmic 2.0 Perfume. Bumble and Bumble Invisible Oil Primer. Peach Slices Redness Relief Acid Serum, Little Thayer's Facial Toner, Benilico Cleansing Balm, Dermalogica Daily Micro Exfoliant. This is really popular. Whoa, a Babyliss Mini Styling Iron. How cute. Burberry Hero Perfume, Matrix Hair Oil Serum. We're gonna be here all day, guys. Nature Lab Style Refresher Spray, Kristen S Softening Blow Dry Foam, Oh my gosh, another perfume. Marc Jacobs Daisy Wild. Exuviance Hydrating Eye Cream. Estee Lauder Advanced Night Repair Oil. Pacifica Treatment. Lots of honey pot goodies. Oak Essentials Renew Face Polish. Another Burberry hero, but the intense version. Oh, I love this. Philosophy Fresh Cream Velvet Perfume. Egyptian Musk Fragrance Oil. Lola V Volume Spray. Dr. Papa Lip Duo. A Chloe perfume. Ooh, a NARS blush in Dolce Vita. Morphe 102 foundation brush. I love these Peace Out acne stickers. Beauty blender. Could always use this. The Tatcha Kissu lip mask is so good too. About Face shadow stick. The Ordinary Lash and Brow Duo. LA Girl matte setting spray. Benefit Bad Gal bounce mascara. Kylie Cosmetics lip glaze. Method Dream Foam body wash. Olivia Garden mini detangler. IGK prep spray. This is really good. Miel Rosemary mint strengthening mask. Rao Beauty sheet masks. NYX Buttermelt Highlighter, Eva NYC Strength Treatment, Peach and Lily Eye Cream, ABH Clear Brow Gel, one of the best, Holy Moly Plum Bum Tightening Peptide Serum, Beauty Bio Eye Serum, Bioma Glow Serum, another Chloe perfume, the Elemis Cleansing Balm, my favorite cleansing balm, Divi Scalp Serum, Polite Society Glossy Lip Balm, Mini Bobbi Brown Cream Shadow Stick, Stila Gel Eyeliner, and finally, there is an ending, Limoncello Cupcake Candle. Wow, that smells so good too. And that was everything in the bag. Wow. I made a mess. Now I have to clean this all up, unpack it, and somehow bring.
This is the wildest swag bag I have ever seen. Just like a couple of mentions. There are 7 perfumes in there. 7. 6 full size, so maybe we can just say 6. 3 different cleansing balms. We have a whole bunch of hair products. Like, it's really just a bag that just keeps on going. This is all about quantity and access. This is value for money like you probably couldn't get anywhere else. If you view the ticket, the $160 as the price of the bag, you're like 10 times, it's like 10 times the value of that. The abundance, I think, really creates a false sense of satisfaction and of value. There is value in these monetarily for sure, but the pleasure in all of this is the quantity. Doesn't really matter if you need it, if you like it, if you use it, it's abundance. All of this is so thrilling because it feels like you're getting everything and the sky's the limit. This is about maximum consumption for minimum cost. So that's the tote bag. So I now want to turn to how people are actually speaking about and talking about all of this stuff at the event. I'm going to show you a couple of TikToks and then we're going to have our like overall discussion.
This is everything I came home with from Ulta Beauty World, you guys. It's actually a little bit overwhelming. I don't know how I will be able to make a video showing each product. I really won't be able to, so this is the best way I can show you guys, but there is so much. Marc Jacobs perfume, Chloe perfumes, Burberry perfumes. That is a base luggage bag back there, and it was filled with product. I mean, there is so much. The majority of this is also full-size product, so I am pretty sure this is thousands of dollars worth of makeup, skincare, hair brushes, a hair straightener. I mean, you could go press on nails, perfumes. There's just so much. Lemmy products. You've got hemp back there. All of these super cute bags. That is a Juicy Couture purse that was filled with a full-size Juicy Couture perfume, which is back there. There are eyeshadow palettes, so much skincare. Bubble gave us their entire collection, I think. So many lip products. I mean, it is just insane. Tree Hut full-size product. This is crazy, guys. Look, Valentino gave us some perfumes. We also have Victor and Rolf here. I mean, I really am so overwhelmed and shocked that we got all of this product. But if you are thinking of going to Ulta Beauty World next year, I think tickets are like $160, which honestly, I think I would pay like $500 for this. Insane. Oh, look, NARS so many.
This is how you can get thousands of dollars worth of beauty products for free. Ulta hosted the first ever Ulta Beauty World, and this is everything that I got at the event for free. Anyone can go to the event. You don't have to be an influencer. You just need to have a ticket. The tickets were around $160, but you get so much stuff that it's so worth it. You get a baize tote filled with products, and on top of that, all of the brands are just handing out free products all day. And these aren't like travel size products. These are full size products, hair straighteners, blow dryers. Look how many bags I had when I got back to my hotel room. I had to make multiple trips to drop stuff off. We even got candy. I got my ears pierced, hair tinsel, full size perfumes. All of this for just one ticket to Ulta Beauty World. Next year, it's going to be in April in Orlando, Florida. Let me know. Do you guys think it's worth?
I've seen these videos multiple times and I am still speechless. And if you flew to this, how the hell are you getting this shit home? The Ulta Beauty World event is one of the clearest examples of how overconsumption is no longer a byproduct of desire, but it is the desire itself. Like this is a true more is more moment. One of the TikToks we just watched had about 5 or 6 full tote bags in her room. What are you going to do with all of that stuff? We've trained ourselves to see more as synonymous with better, with winning, with success, with wealth. We're not just consuming, we are aspiring to consume, overconsume really. Walking away with 5 overflowing bags from this event is a level of abundance that majority of people will never get to experience. Many people simply cannot afford, like generally speaking, to buy this much stuff or store this much stuff, or are presented with the opportunity to ever accumulate this much stuff in some kind of capacity. And so many people live with limitations because of budget or space, which are very reasonable and very normal. So I think for a lot of people to be handed literally everything, more than in some cases you could ever dream of or desire, it's like a fantasy fulfillment. And also being somebody who never has to choose, who doesn't have to think twice. One of the things I think this captures is the aspiring of abundance. And I think this may be especially true for right now, this particular moment where there is a lot of economic uncertainty and anxiety. And it's not so much aspiring to specific products or aspiring just to have a third cleanser. What I think this could maybe represent is an insulation and being insulated against some of the economic hardships and how they impact people's lives on a real basis. You're not lacking. You don't have to think about the ways that you might be lacking or go through some of the regular decision making or anxiety that may come from budgetary constraints, as an example. You're insulated and you're safe and you're protected from some of those things. And now you can just walk into your bathroom and just pick up whatever you want. And while this gives people a miniature version of that, because like eventually these products will run out or expire, and this is not actually the life that you live, like it's not behavior you can repeat, it gives you a taste of that. And I think it's aspirational as well to the everyday person because it gives you access that you never previously had before, access to an event that was not open to the public, but also access to consumption levels that have historically only been available to the rich or influencers. And in some ways, it's a democratization of excess, or it's maybe one of the more democratic or accessible ways, perhaps is a better word, to the everyday person. You just get in the door and you're good. $160 is, of course, a barrier to entry, especially if you don't live in the location that it's in. So I'm not saying that it's just easily attainable, but it's perhaps a more attainable way, or it's more attainable than being rich itself, or the influencer life, or becoming an influencer. And also some people don't necessarily want to become an influencer, but like you can get tastes of that here. And I think what might be interesting about this, this part is a thought that is not fully formulated. So I'm kind of putting my neck out with this one. You didn't have to work for this stuff, right? Like you didn't have to hustle or spend your own money on this kind of stuff. You just showed up and you were given everything. Like you were given more than you could desire or maybe think about. Like if I asked you to list out 1,000 beauty products that you could want. Could you do it? I don't think I could. And also in a world where things are costing more and jobs are not keeping up with inflation, and as well, buying even $1,000 worth of stuff is just not accessible. There's something alluring, I think, of just being there and getting everything, getting things handed to you. That's not the way that most people's lives and experiences work. Most people don't just get free stuff handed to them. Here, you're just given. And I think that's part of it. I think there's like that pleasure of just having all this stuff at your fingertips, easily accessible. This event, I think, is being portrayed as very satisfying and maybe even fulfilling because you get so much stuff. There is so much language that is being used to describe this as not normal. Like, this is insane. This is so much stuff. Look at how much stuff you get. And then you get people dumping out bags and showing all of the stuff that you get. And it's really showcasing the excess. We have visual as well as narrative framings of this way. And while I don't think anybody says verbally that like they are fulfilled or that like all of this stuff is fulfilling personally, I feel like there's an emotional payoff here. It's emotional fullness via material abundance. I think it's a bit empty though beneath the surface. And what I think contributes to this, maybe to add a little bit more, I think a lot of the time people rely on happiness or pleasure, because happiness is really just pleasure from like external circumstances. And people see this as satisfaction. But pleasure is relatively like easily attainable and it's outside forces, and you don't typically need intention, or intention is not required to get happiness. And pleasure can come from dopamine, which can come from like loops that we've trained ourselves into. And happiness itself is what I'm trying to get to, is not an inherently meaningful emotion. Like, let's say contentment. Pleasure is pleasurable. It's great. I'm not knocking pleasure, but it is something that can have a lack of meaning behind it. And so all of the excess is driving the pleasure, which I think gets interpreted as happiness and then fulfillment. But all of this is relatively empty. And it's empty because there is no meaning behind the stuff. People just want more and they're excited about the excess. So people aren't really caring about if they needed the stuff, if they like what they're getting. There's no real comment about that because as well, there's too much stuff to really even do that with. What's dangerous about this event, in my opinion, we're getting to even more meat of the video, is how innocent this looks and how fun this looks. And painting overconsumption as fun or entertaining. And it's the insanity that's part of the appeal. Like, people acknowledge that this is wild, that this is so much stuff, this is actually insane. That's the appeal. What is happening at this event is really just turning up the dials, and some of what's happening on places like TikTok, normal influencer behavior there, and then doing it on a larger scale and arguably turning up the dials as well. And when we see like influencers doing their PR hauls or hauling stuff, whether they pay for it or not, there is overconsumption happening on individual levels. And I think sometimes we can have a hard time like connecting all of these things together, or really understanding the impact of like literally thousands of people doing clothing hauls or beauty hauls every month. But now we had about 1,500 people who all had the same experience and who got all of this stuff. And this was just one event where 1,500 people got to act like influencers for a day or consume like influencers for a day. It's turning up the dial that makes this more alluring and more difficult to resist than a typical haul because it's so excessive. But the drive for the consumption and the drive for stuff acquisition is the same. This is just the more alluring example, or the more maybe aspirational example, because it's more. So I have like 5 or 6 concluding thoughts that I want to just like rapid fire, hopefully. Number 1, it helps shift the baseline of what's normal. When you watch somebody casually receive $1,000 worth of product, 1,500 people went to this event, most of them walking away with multiple tote bags filled with stuff. It's framed as exciting and aspirational. We've talked about this. This can potentially, I'm saying potentially, can warp the sense of scale by making all the other mini hauls look smaller, or encourage people to continue to consume like this because it was such a pleasurable and fun experience. When we see influencers hauling stuff and getting PR on TikTok, I think a lot of people want to live a life like that. And now this is you getting to live a life like that, which can continue the normalization of overconsumption, because now you've had your firsthand experience and it was so fun and it was so pleasurable, and you may want to continue doing it. Like, it was so great, it encourages you to continue, or perhaps makes you less critical of what you're viewing online and the behavior that you're seeing online. Number two, it continues the detachment of usefulness. When the volume of consumption goes up, usefulness goes down, and purpose stops mattering. I don't know if people overall are asking, do I need this? What's its purpose? Could I wear this? What's its function? Do I like this? But all of that can go completely out the window when we're getting so much stuff, because I don't know that it's actually possible to do that with hundreds of items. But the thrill becomes about possessing and acquiring and not utility. If those questions were there, I think they're going to get pushed out the wayside. If they weren't there because you were already consuming at a level, then I guess this is just turning up the dial on behavior that's already there. And this is how people who have 5 identical setting sprays continue to want more. And it encourages this cycle of behavior. It encourages overconsumption. The less critical we are of things, the easier it is to consume. Next step is that it numbs us to consequences. Overconsumption doesn't just have personal effects. We talked about some of those a few days ago in the retail therapy inner child video. There are personal ones, mental health ones, there are environmental ones, financial ones. But when you are continuing to watch people who are in a state of pleasure because they are shopping or they're acquiring so much stuff, or if you are doing it yourself, it can blind you to the consequences of consuming like this. Consuming like this is not a overall positive thing. I was just talking about the critical thinking that kind of gets turned down. We're not thinking about if we could use it, if we like it, if we want it, and then we get stuck with hundreds of items or dozens of items. I don't know if everybody got quite hundreds, but we'll say 100 items. You get 100 items in at once. Have you ever brought in 100 makeup items at one time or 100 beauty items? It is so overwhelming. You go to a thing like this, an event like this, you have so much fun hauling your way around the convention center, and then you get home and now you're faced with the reality of, what the hell do I do with 100 products? And then these influencers who've gone to this event, who are excitedly posting about it, they are now reinforcing ideas of aspiration and overconsumption and the pleasure and the joy and the fun of it all. We can't keep going on like this and pretending like overconsumption doesn't have consequences. Even if we remove sustainability from the equation, which we shouldn't, but for now, just on a personal example, because sometimes personal examples can really get people to think about things, or when they are personally impacted, that's when they'll start evaluating things. What are you gonna do with 6 cleansers or 6 perfumes? Literally, how long is it going to take you to finish 6 perfumes? Is it even possible for you personally to finish 6 perfumes? The pleasures of shopping like this completely blind us to the reality of living with this much stuff. The Ulta Beauty event, like final thoughts, the overconsumption was insane. And what I think bothers me about this, we've talked about the idealization or the glamorization or the aspiration of overconsumption. That is 100% happening. But what really makes me a little sad inside is like people promoting this to other people, like you could get this much too, and like genuinely not seeing how this could be harmful. And I think people are caught up in like the joy and the fun of it all, as we've talked about. But we're not at this point even idealizing or romanticizing big hauls. We're doing that with excessive consumption, things that are actually accessible to many people in ways that PR halls and giant beauty rooms aren't. It makes me like maybe sad or frustrated to see people so like caught up in the throes of desire and promoting it to other people, or seeing nothing wrong with like 6 tote bags filled with stuff, and I'm like, girl, do you know what it's gonna be like to actually use this stuff? Anyway, I feel like I could talk about this all day. That's gonna be it for me. Thank you so much for watching and being here. Hope you enjoyed this one, and I hope to see you again around here soon for a new video.